Solve rational equations. Rational equations means we have fractions or rational expressions in the equation. Let's look at the first one. 3/4 times x equals x over 3 plus 1/2. Now, apparently this one contains fractions. We can also call them rational equations. So to solve this type of equation, we have two steps. Step 1, we need to find the LCD. The reason to do that is to get rid of all the fractions. So the main goal to solve a rational equation is to try to get rid of all the fractions in there, or the denominator. So get rid of the denominators. And to get rid of denominators, first we have to find the LCDs that in step 1, and step 2 we're going to multiply both sides by the LCD. So we follow the steps here. First, we found the LCD. To look for the LCD, we look at the bottom numbers, denominators, 4, 3, 2. And if you can see what the LCD is, which is 12 in this case, you can just go ahead and use it. You don't have to show your work how to find the LCD. But if you don't know how to do it, and then you can break down, this is how we do it. Break down 4 as 2 times 2. Break down 3. 3 cannot be factored, so we copy it. And 2 cannot be factored, but we line up 2 with one of those 2's we already have. So the LCD will be bringing one number from each column. So 2 times 2 times 3, and that gives us a 12. Okay, so now, first step, found the LCD. Step 2, we got to multiply both sides by the LCD. We're going to take this 12 and multiply the left-hand side by 12. The right-hand side, it has 2 terms. We multiply each of them by 12. And since we need to multiply fractions, we're going to put 1 underneath. So we're going to multiply a lot of fractions here. And we would recommend that you reduce first before you multiply straight across, because this will make the problem easier. So notice that 4 goes into 12 3 times. And so we can reduce 12 and 4. They have a common factor 4. Now we're going to multiply straight across. 3 times 3, it's 9. Notice the bottom, there's a 1 here, and this 4 is reduced to a 1, but 1 times 1 will still be 1. So you're going to have 9 over 1. But 9 over 1 will still be 9. That's why we don't have to put over 1 there. And this x will stay because we didn't do anything to it. We just reduced that fraction, multiplied 12 and 3/4. On the right hand side, we're going to do the same thing. So reduce this 3 and 12, and because you can 3 goes into 12 4 times, and this 3 is reduced to 1. Now multiply straight across. The top is just going to be 4 times x. The bottom 1 times 1. The bottom 1 can be omitted, because anything divided by 1 will be itself. Now move on. So 2 goes into 12 6 times. And let's multiply straight across. 6 times 1, 6. Again, the bottom will be 1, and we don't have to put there. Okay, now we successfully got rid of all the denominators, and we only have integral equation now, and we can subtract 4x to combine these two. Because they're not on the same side, we have to move 4x to the left in order to combine them. So we do the opposite operation by subtracting and bring down the 6 because they are cancelled. And we divide both sides by 5. So x is equal to 6/5. Okay, now we can look at the second one. which is 3 over 4 minus x equals 2 over 3x minus 2. And this one is a rational equation. And we can still follow these two steps to do this. Find the LCD and multiply both sides by LCD. But there's a quick way, which is we using the property of proportion. So let's recall what a proportion looks like. A proportion looks like this: something over something equals something over something. So the left side has to be a single fraction and right side is also single fraction. And this is exactly what we have right here. Something over something equals something over something. So this is called a proportion. And the proportion has a very good property. The cross products are always equal. So the property says cross products are equal. So in this case, we can use the property to do it. So we multiply diagonally 3 times 3x minus 2. That should be equal to the other cross product, 2 times 4 minus x. And we got rid of the denominators very quickly. And now we can get rid of parentheses by distributing 9x minus 6, 8 minus 2x. And next we combine like terms because we have this on the right. So we're going to move it to the left by adding a 2x. We got 11x minus 6 equals 8. So they are canceled out. And now we add 6 to both sides and divide both sides by 11. So x equals 14/11. And notice 14 over 11 is already reduced. We cannot reduce it any further. All right. Compare these two questions. That the first one we couldn't do the way we did it for the second one because it's not a proportion. As you can see in the original problem, the right hand side has a fraction plus a fraction. And notice that's not a proportion. The proportion can only be a single fraction on each side, on both sides. And so this right hand side does not satisfy the proportion. So we have to find the LCD and multiply both sides by the LCD. For the second one, we could do the same thing, but there's a quick way because it's a special case. It's a proportion, and that's why we can just use the property of proportion to do it.